Hey everybody, it's Shamika. Just wanted to give you some information about the new program that has been approved. It is the remote online notarization process that Florida has now been approved. And if you are a notary in Florida, you can participate in this program. I'm going to show you where you need to go to get your information, the files and things you got to click on, and all you got to do to get your name on the list. All right. So we're going to go to sunbiz.org, which is the Secretary of State's website for the state of Florida. We're going to go here where it says authentications, notaries, and other services. We're going to click on notaries. This gives you a whole lot of information about the different types of notaries, but for intents and purposes, we're just going to go here to remote online notary public because that is what we want. One thing that is different is in order to get your name on the list, there has to be you have to be on an approved notaries list, which you could see here. So in order to get your name on that list, there's a step of things you have to follow. I do not understand why they put the application way down here at the bottom, but they did put the application down here at the bottom of the page. This is what it looks like. You can fill this out online. It does have to be notarized. So you are going to have to print it out, of course. It looks like they want a picture to be affixed. I have not read that yet. But if you happen to have, an extra passport picture, a lot of times they give you 3. You can actually put one of those on there. This does require signatures from the individual that you get a surety bond from. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Hey, everybody, it's Shamika. I wanted to make a quick update, a correction to actually what I said. I actually printed out the application, and this box here, I actually thought it was a place to put your picture, but as I printed it out, I saw it's actually a signature block. So you can actually leave this area blank. So do not do anything in this section. Do not go out and get you a passport photo. I completely apologize. It was very difficult to see, but like I said, under further review, I had to give you guys that update. So nothing else in the video changed. That was the only update that I had. All right. Thanks, guys. That you get a surety bond from. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So, but this is the actual application that you have to have. So I'm going to go back. And we're going to start from the beginning. So you're an individual who wants to become a remote online notary, or a RON as they call it. All you're going to do is, the first thing you're going to do is you have to be a notary first. If you're not a notary, then you got to start from the beginning and become a notary first before you can become a RON. If you are already, or currently a notary, then the next step you're going to take is one, print out the applications next. All right. So get that information filled out. And then you're going to go, they give you 3 courses to choose from. I do not know why my thing is spinning, but it doesn't even matter. I don't need it right now. So anyway, you can go here and choose one of the 3 classes that they give you to take that 2-hour online class. I already took it. I actually took this one here at the top. These classes are only $20. It is a computer-based PowerPoint program, so you cannot skip through it, unfortunately. It does have a lot of information. A lot of the stuff you should already know because you're a notary. So there is a 10 question quiz at the end. I would tell you, if you got some extra time to the side, put this class on, pay your $10, register down here, and turn it up loud and go do your chores and come back and take the test at the end. The good thing about this class is you do not have to be at the computer to actually click for it to go to the next page. It does it on its own. So this technically can run for a full 2 hours, and you can come back and your your quiz is waiting for you. And as soon as you take that, you get your certificate. You do have to provide a certificate to the Department of State with the application that you guys see down here. All right. So the next thing you're going to do after that, they want you to review and read. There's nothing that you have to sign to say that you have acknowledged the changes in the law. But the one thing that I took away the most is, if anything happens to you as a RON, it affects you as a notary also, and vice versa. If anything happens to you as a notary, it affects you being a RON. So if something happens and you're disqualified and you can no longer be a notary, then you can no longer be a RON either. Okay. But please read this as well. Then after that, you're going to need to make sure you have a company. This is in this area here. They want you to contract with the appropriate third-party vendor before applying, which that makes a lot of sense, because there's no sense of spending all this money and turning in all your paperwork if you don't have a format for how you're going to do your online notarization. I currently use DocuSign. Excuse me, not DocuSign. Hold on, I'll get you the name of it because I am giving you the wrong information. But, it's DocVerify. I couldn't think of it for a second. But I currently use DocVerify as my third-party vendor. You can go to their website. They have some programs. They're a little on the pricey side. They're about $100 or so, but it's going to do exactly what you need. One thing that they require is they want you to be able to have the technology that actually can store your online notarizations for at least 10 years. So if you get nothing out of calling these companies around, and there are going to be companies that you can use, as you see, it says that, I'm trying to see where it says that the state they don't give you any suggestions of who you should use. So you're really going to have to find your own. I just found DocVerify to be, easier for me. And so that is what I use. Okay. So I'm going to go through this one more time. In order to be a RON, you're going to have to get on the approved notaries list. In order to get on the approved notaries list, you must, 1, be a notary already. 2, you need to print out the application, which is down here. That application will have to be notarized. You will have to have a bond. It will have to be signed by the individual that sold you the bond. Now, the new changes, and that is what why they have you read this, is because in those changes, your bond limits increase. Normally, most, not your errors and omissions insurance, your bonds. So most notaries have a bond of $7,500. Now you have to have $25,000 in your bond. So that's pretty important. So if you, wherever you got your notary stamp and all that from, I actually use nationalnotary.org. I actually just went on the other day and upgraded my bond so that I can meet the requirements, and I'll show you how to get to that in a second. Okay. So you definitely want to make sure that you have the right limits on your bond. You also need to make sure you have a third-party vendor. I use DocVerify. You can find your own, but I believe they have what it is that you need to get the job done. And I know being able to store that information for 10 years is going to be very, very important. A lot of these vendors use a cloud-based service, so nothing gets stored on your phone, but you can use your phone or the computer or however you choose. But being able to store that information, to be able to do a lot of those biometric, and you can get fancy with this notary stuff. That you can get it where it pulls questions like when you're going to sign up for credit repair, and when you get not credit repair, when you're trying to sign up to view your credit, and a lot of times they ask you those security questions. A lot of that you can choose to add that as a product in, if you use DocVerify or whatever other company you use, to make sure that the individual that is signing or that you're doing the notary for is actually the individual that they say they are. So just because it's done online doesn't mean that people are going to be able to get away with just lying and producing false documents. A lot of this stuff is going to have to be verified, but that is what's so good about having these vendors. And yes, you do have to pay a little bit. I will tell you, DocVerify is about $110 for the year. Okay. The application fee for Florida to turn in with all of the documents is going to be $10. If you need to increase your bond, I increased my bond to $25,000. That ended up costing me $40. And let's see, that's what, $160. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need? I don't believe so. So I think that's all the funds you're going to spend. So I'm going to tell you right now, when you're doing remote online notarization, your fee that you normally would charge is $25. If you're a mobile notary, you can charge additional for your mileage that you're driving, your gas and all of that. So you can make this back in a matter of, 5 or 6 people, depending on if you drive far, you might be able to make it back in 3 or 4 people. Is it worth the investment? I think it's worth the investment. I think this is a great service to be able to add to what you already currently provide to your customers. So anytime you can offer them more and make it more accessible for them, I think you'll actually do great. So it doesn't take too much to get this done, but I just wanted you to know that I know what I forgot. You also have to take that class. All right. So again, because I know I'm a person of repetitiveness, I want to make sure people get it. So you're going to go to the state's website. You're going to go here. You're going to go for notaries. It's going to bring you here to this page. You're going to make sure that you are a notary one. You're going to make sure you have your $10 money order so that you can send your application back. You get your application from down here. It's going to have to be signed by someone with a surety bond. It's also going to have to be notarized. Okay. You are going to need to take the 2-hour education class. You can choose from these 3. I've already taken this one. It's $20, 2 hours. It goes on its own. Come back and just take the 10-question quiz. And I think you can get a 70 and you will still pass. You have to print out your certificate because that has to be turned in along with the application that has to be notarized and signed by the company that's giving you your surety bond. Please make sure you read this section right here because this section is the most important section of all the changes that have come about. So the state wants to know that you have familiarize yourself with the information. Also, you need to make sure you have a third-party vendor that's actually going to allow you to perform your services remotely and store the contents of the call so that if anything comes back, you have proof of that. So I use DocVerify, okay? So that will be one of the third-party vendors that you could use. And once you have proof of that and they sign stating that they have given you that surety bond, you can turn all of that in to the state, to Tallahassee, of course, with your $10 money order. And boom, if you are approved, everything's good to go. You will be on this approved notaries list. All right. And as you see, they put your commission number and the date that it expires. All right. So it's quite a lot of people on here. A lot of us did not know about this change. So, hey, we're probably catching up late, but that's all right. So again, not that hard. Get the process started. Add this as a service to the services you already provide. You could definitely make this I think we're up to $180 now. You can definitely make that back in no time, less than 10 customers. And this lasts as long as your notary public lasts as long too. Okay, so anyway, I hope I helped you guys. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Bye.